Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Freedom of Speech on the Dime with your girl, Pleasure Time. Today, we're going to be talking about 7 key things you should know about someone before starting a relationship, whether it's romantic or long-term situationship. These are just surface level facts, but truth that reveal how someone functions in love, conflicts, commitment, and life. At least that's how I feel, but this is my opinion. Anyways, number one, we're gonna go with how they handle conflict. Now, this one is big because it coincides with communication. Do they shut down? Do they explode? Do they deflect? Or do they actually communicate? Pay attention to whether or not they avoid accountability or genuinely work towards a resolution. Okay. So, like I said, with me in a relationship, I don't care if it's a partnership, business deal, whatever, communication is a big factor. So communicating is big. So, number two, their emotional availability. Okay. Are they capable of being emotionally present? Or do they withhold, breadcrumb, or disappear when things get intense? So just think about who you're dealing with. Actually, you can think about all aspects of your life. Emotional intelligence and vulnerability matters more than charm and charisma or charm and chemistry. So, are they capable of being emotionally present? So, that's their emotional availability. What about their relationship with the truth? Do they twist facts, omit details, or lie to avoid drama? Honesty, especially under pressure, reveals character more than words can ever, or more than words ever will. Okay? Their current life stability. How are they mentally, emotionally, financially, and spiritually? No one has to be perfect. We're not looking for perfection here, okay? That's true. I'm definitely not looking for perfection. But you need to know if they're in the storm, you need to know if they're in a storm you'll get dragged into. That's definitely what you want to know because, to me a relationship is about building. You both bring something and it's together you guys can have an empire, you know what I mean? But it's going to take the two of you. Not saying that you can't have a standalone, but so much better than you have that kingdom, that empire, that unity, together. So what's their current life stability? How about what love means to them? You hear a lot of people how they care and they like you. Is love acts of service, words, time, loyalty, sacrifice, or control? So you definitely got to watch people because you do have a lot of narcissists. You do have a lot of people who are just out to manipulate you. So you need to know how they express and interpret love, or you'll love them in a language they can't ever hear. So a lot of times we do have to tell people how to love us. You know what I mean? Because what worked for the last person, it may not work for you. So that is also another reason why we communicate. You know what I mean? So you can only get these answers if we're communicating, if we're interacting with each other. Okay. What about their relationship history? Not just who they dated. I don't really care about any of that, but how they moved on or didn't. You know what I mean? Like what patterns of sabotage or secrecy or unhealed trauma that they may be carrying over into this relationship. That definitely matters. You know what I mean? You definitely don't want to come in this relationship triggering somebody about something the ex did and you didn't even know it was a trigger. So definitely wants to have that open line of communication. All right. And number seven, what they want and they don't want long term: family, commitment, monogamy, freedom, healing, surface level fun, marriage. If their vision for life doesn't align with yours, chemistry won't compensate it for long, okay? So if you guys aren't on the same page, you don't have the same values and things, and if you can't find at least one mutual goal that you have in common, yeah, chemistry is not going to compensate it for long. Okay? What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments if you think I should add something to this list or you think that I missed something out or maybe something in this list just really isn't that important to you. And this isn't for everyone. I do think that these are things that you should at least know about your partner or your significant other or whoever you're dealing with, you know? I ain't saying you got to say, hey, so you dated Brittany back in 2004. Oh, you dated Kim back in 2005. I'm not talking about any of that when I'm talking about getting to know them. I don't care nothing about their blacklist, you know? What about when's the last time they've had a health checkup versus worrying about, how long their list is. I could care less about that. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, I want to talk to somebody for who they are. You know, how do they make me feel when we interact? And is it actually real? Why do people put up facades and stuff when you want someone to genuinely love you for who you are, but yet you will fake it in front of them? I'm gonna tell you that you're not gonna be able to hold a facade for long. It is not something that you can do. So whether you was Mrs. Perfect at the beginning, Mr. Perfect at the beginning, and then a good, to me, just normally within 90 days. So if you're dealing with someone consistency, and it normally don't even take that long, depending on how consistent you guys are interacting. But we do have lives, we have other things that we have to take care of. Some of us have families, careers, jobs, some of us do double shifts, all that extra stuff that may make it a reason as to why we can't see or communicate with each other as much as we would like to. But in that time frame that we are getting to know each other, I'm telling you, you're not even going to be around them too. No one can keep up a facade forever. At some point, it's going to break. And you're going to get to see that person for who they really are. Now, a lot of times, if said person smoke or drink, you typically can see it faster. But if that person is a sober-minded person, then it may take you a little bit longer. Okay? But just know that all the red flags are there. Don't get caught up in the moment that we miss the flags because we don't need. That's the thing we want. It's nice to have. You know what I mean? But not at any cost. You don't want to sacrifice your peace and your sanity, chasing, begging, or putting yourself on pause for anyone, anything in general. So, like I said, leave in the chat what you think. Let me know where you're actually viewing me from, since we are trying to grow our subscribers. And share this with a friend. You never know what other people are going through. For those of you who have found love, or you think you found love and you want to go over your legal options, there'll be a link in the descriptions for those of you who need premarital prenups, and or those of you who have found it in somebody else and you need to cut ties with the other one. So one of you want to get married, or you want to change your name or get divorced, all those legal questions and concerns that you may have, I'll leave a link in the description for you to check out this legal program. All right, other than that, like I said, share with a friend. Until next time, be blessed. Bye bye.